Hi everyone, Becky here. Yeah, so for those of you who are not up to date, I'm thinking of taking the HSK 7 through 9 exam. I've been thinking about that for a while, but it just hasn't been a top priority. But now, kind of maybe see if I can make the push. Now, HSK 7 through 9 exam does not have much in the way of study materials. So what do? Well, I guess I'll use books like this, which are designed for native speakers for high school as well. Right, so first of all, I'll show you, this is the kind a question you can get on the exam. So here's a sample question. So this is argumentative writing or persuasive writing here. So you need to express and defend opinions on given topics, all right? So you'll be given something like this. We don't have many examples, but I think I've got 2 or maybe 3 examples I've seen, and they're all like this. So it's some quote. It begins with some quote. This is Lunyu. Lunyu is Confucius. This was written after Confucius by his disciples, etc., etc. Anyway, the point is, this is the teachings of Confucius. It documents the teachings. 工欲善其事，工欲善其事，必先利其器. Right, so this is relatively straightforward, even though it's like several thousand years old. Yeah, so 工 work, you desire 善其事. If you want to be good at this, 必 must 先 first 利其器 sharpen your tools. Right? So basically it's emphasizing being prepared or doing preparation tasks prior to actually like doing the actual work. Yeah, so you see this in a lot of domains. 字面意思是工匠要想做好自己的工作，一定要事先模块工具。Right, so unlike the Gaokao exam, we get a translation. So these are called translations as well. This is a translation from classical Chinese to modern Chinese. It's still a translation. And classical Chinese is hard, as hard, if not harder, as classical English. You read 1,000-year-old English and you'll be like, well, what? Or ye olde English. When was English invented? I don't know. All these things evolved over thousands of years, right? Right, anyway. So we need to use this as a kind of inspiration for our persuasive writing. We're going to need to argue the value of like training or preparation before diving into a proper task. Yeah, it depends on the task, of course. So Confucius is talking, Confucius is less general. 工匠would be like a professional at doing some sort of work, but we're not meant to take this too literally. We're meant to talk about preparation. It's like, why is preparation important? It's basically what we're meant to be arguing. 600 characters 左右，认识并论证你的观点. All right. So this is the kind of thing we're going to get on HSK 7 through 9 exam in the writing section. 600 characters. We probably don't have that long, actually. So there's 55 minutes for the writing section, and there are 2 tasks. There's this one and a second task. This is the second task. The first task is take a plot like this and describe it in 200 characters. So I haven't got onto this yet. I do not know how to prepare for that. Maybe just practice. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So I do have, I don't want to get too far off topic, but I do have this, which is not Gaokao. I will show you in a second. it's not Gaokao, but it's they are exams. 事业单位. So 事业单位 exams. This is professional exams. I've done some of these actually. They're very, very hard. They're for native speakers. And oh yeah, so they include like maths and so on. Yeah, logic. Yeah, I'm a bit unsure about logic problems. Now, sorry. So, what? I could have sworn there were, oh, so here there's a table, is there? Are you meant to introduce the table in this one? So you've got this data. Oh, maybe you're meant to infer information from the data. 资料分析, yeah, data analysis. Here you're inferring data from that table. Here we are, we have some plots. Now, okay, so the questions on this exam are not identical to the ones we just saw, right? But we do have this plot. What is this? There isn't, the axes are not labeled. 饮料产量. Alright, so the production of beverages. So presumably this is like yearly, what 1 year of data for the production of there. You'll probably, I mean, I could use this and just describe it in that 200 characters and so on. So I do have something to go on, and I have quite a few of those, but generally I haven't actually studied these because they're quite hard. But at the same time, there's something to be said about doing things that are too hard so that you know where to go in the future, right? So so things like with the writing, it's still a bit hard for me at the moment, in the sense that I can write, but I'm not going to be able to write a Gaokao level essay with that level of quality. But my writing is generally okay. But as far as I know, the thing is, every time someone says that, oh, I'm quite satisfied with my XYZ, and then they learn that there's, what is it called? I don't know, you say, I'm satisfied with this, and then you learn, oh, there's something over here, and then I got to learn that too. And something over here, I got to learn that. And it keeps expanding. So, yeah. Anyway, we were reading this, where were we? We're up to the third point. Did we do this one? Yeah, we looked at this. Yeah, some of this was quite challenging. Now, one thing that is very, very much apparent from Chinese Gaokao essays is the amount of quotes. There's quotes all over the place. Now, so on the HSK exam, we're going to be tasked with defending our point of view. We're not going to be able to access the internet or something. It's not like I can give a citation or something like this unless I memorize it in full. Yeah, I mean, I can't exclude that as a possibility. If you do correctly memorize citations and include them, I mean, I don't see why that would get marked down. It does seem like what you would do on an academic paper or something. Yeah, in the real world, you would just Google everything rather than memorize all this. But quotes, there's full of quotes. Now, so we're going through step 3 at the moment, 论据. So we're looking at forms of evidence. And it seems I need quotes. I'm going to need quotes. I'm going to need to remember things, famous sayings and things like that. And that's how I'm going to have to evidence my arguments in this writing. All right. Okay. Right. So let's see what we got here. So this is the third method for presenting evidence in your argumentative pieces. All right. 正反对比法. So we're comparing something with its direct opposite. Presumably we're going to debunk its opposite. 在议论文写作中，可以通过正反对比法，强化说理效果。具体而言，就是精选具有对立性或反差性的论据，在对比分析中凸显论点，可以是人对人，物对物，也可以是纵向比较或横向对比。Do you know what those are? 这种通过正反论据的碰撞来论证的方法，能使观点更立体，说理更透彻。What is this one? 彻 is it 彻？透彻。All right, so I'm not entirely sure what they mean. So we're just we're taking our argument, we're negating it, and then saying, all right, well the opposite is that. So obviously what I want to say is true. It's kind of like proof by contradiction. 人对人, what do you reckon that means? 物对物，也可以是 I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. So here's their example. 正面举例. Okay, so 正面. So 正面 here, this would mean just get your point of view and give an example of that. And 对比反面举例. Oh, okay, so we're going to do both. We're going to give an example of our argumentation, an example of the negation of our argumentation, and go, obviously one is better. This sort of stuff can be very straw man, no? So let's see what we got. Oh, as we see, we have yet another quote. Is that right? 范仲淹幼年家贫以 Whoa, what is that? Whoa. 断什么话舟? So presumably this is a 成语, which means there's a kind of a whole bunch of these things where a whole bunch of 成语, which means you give up food or something, struggle, but somehow you still study or something like this. That character looks wacky to me. 文, and then here, and then is 韭菜的韭. 鸡断机骤舟, 断地骤舟. Oh, this is 化舟, not this one. Whoops. Eat sparingly because of poverty. 断机化舟. What is 鸡? 鸡 is it's seasoning. All right, seasoning. 断机化舟. So maybe, I don't know. Pause for 1 second. Yeah, just adding a note. I just make notes in my corpus. If I see anything, any characters I'm not used to. 断机化舟的 OK, 自制励志苦读，终成一代名臣，其先忧后乐的千古名言，将个人命运与国家兴衰紧密相连，用一生宣示了何为士大夫的担当。Okay, what is 栓面? Is it 栓面? 栓是 Is that right? No, maybe it's not 栓。诠释说明解释 OK That's not a big deal. I'm pretty sure this character's in my corpus. I'll show you. So, here, 全是 yeah, 艺术全是. Oh, okay, so this is like art interpretation. Yeah, all right, interesting. So if we go back, so 全是了弹灯. Still very hard, but this 担当 taking on responsibility kind of thing, emphasizing being useful, I guess. And 对比. All right, so we want to contrast this with someone who does not like fight against poverty or something, just sits there and chills. Maybe this is like, oh, there it is, 躺平. I knew it was coming. I'm like, oh, it's an anti 躺平. All right, 反面例句. OK， 当下部分青年怀有躺平、摆烂的消极心态，与范仲淹的担当精神形成鲜明反差，既失了天行健，君子以自强不息的进取精神，更辜负了少年强则国强的时代重托。Right. maybe we're getting a little bit patriotic here, etc., etc. Yeah, so it's arguing against 躺平. Probably most people watching my video knows what 躺平is. Literally, it means lie flat. Figuratively, it refers to people refusing to enter the rat race and spending more time, I don't know, with their family and doing things they enjoy. Yeah, of course, it's criticized for not sufficiently contributing to society. Yeah, so higher ups like to criticize that. So if you reflect their personal opinion rather than your own personal opinion, you might get good marks on the exam. All right. So we're contrasting. Again, we see quotes. It's all quotes. All right. So next is this. All right, I need to adjust the camera. I feel like I probably shouldn't use the patriotic quotes on the HSK exam. It would come off as a bit disingenuous. All right. 北宋文豪范仲淹幼年家境贫寒，却始终刻苦读书，心怀天下。他断机化州，在艰苦的环境中磨砺自己，最终学有所成。入仕后，this 仕 oh, this is like government official, becoming a government official, okay? So this person is probably from Chinese history at some point. Oh, 北宋. All right, so that's a while ago. OK, 入仕后，他秉持先天下之忧而忧，后天下之乐而乐。I don't know what that means, but as you see, quotes. 的信念，心系百姓，心忧朝廷。他主持信立新政，试图革新求变，虽遭遇重重阻力，仍初心不改。OK， 从未 放弃自己的责任和担当。反观当下，部分青年怀有躺平、摆烂的消极心态，面对挑战时选择退缩。Maybe. It really feels critical of these people. You got to adopt the stance that the teacher wants you to adopt. Yeah. It's very critical, right? People do not want to like develop health and mental health issues from overwork, and they call it 躺平 and so on. It's like, well, design a better system kind of thing. So I think it's a little bit unfair to criticize them as 退缩, so retracting from challenges. 面对责任时选择逃避 Maybe. I don't know. 这种自我放逐的人生态度，不仅消解了青春应有的锐气，更遮蔽了人生路途中的精神光芒。All right. So this is one of these cases where I feel like if you wanted to write a piece where your opinion supported 躺平, because whoever is marking it would not agree with that, you would lose marks. So you're not allowed to have arbitrary opinions. Now, they will probably tell you that that's not true. They will probably tell you that you are allowed whatever opinion you like as long as you support it well. The problem is they will argue any opinion that they don't agree with is not supported well, and you'll lose marks because of that. And yeah, so you can't eradicate like prejudice from people's minds, kind of. They're not going to be objective. Humans are full of prejudices. Anyway, so this is the anticipated answer, where using figures from Chinese history, well-known quotes, and like rejecting the spirit of laziness, I guess. All right. So the point they're trying to make in this article is using this is considered lofty and grand and etc., and this is considered lazy and slovenly and don't do that. Yeah. There's JFK's quote, right? Was it ask not what you can do, what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. I'm not American, but that's a very famous quote. And there's something to say about that. But maybe that was true back in the 70s, 80s or something, still true back in that time. Yeah, nowadays everyone exploits everyone else. So, you know. 追根溯源法 So seek a source. 想要立意深刻，以理服人，关键在于对论据的深度挖掘与逻辑化呈现。在运用论据时，可以突出其逻辑关系，由表及里。So this is from 表 is surface, 及里 is inside, right? So from the outside to the inside. So you've got some surface level understanding, you get to the crux. 追溯事物的根由，通过分析问题产生的原因，或者推理事物发展的结果，得到反映事物本质的结论，从而增强文章的逻辑力量，彰显思维的深度。运用词法可以借助关联词 使句子与句子的逻辑关系外显。What does that mean? 关联词 connectives. So we're talking about like words and phrases like 总之而言归根到底 yeah, that sort of thing. That kind of like you've made this argumentation and then you use a connective to bring it out and then so on. So we're actually talking about grammar here. Yeah, we're highlighting grammar. All right. So we're focusing on grammar now. 尽我所能与尽我不能相辅相成缺一不可 Right, so this is all I can do and respect what I can't do, I guess. 只有尽我所能，我们才能不断突破自我，实现人生的价值。只有尽我不能，我们才能保持清醒的头脑，避免陷入盲目自信的误区。如果只知尽我所能而不知尽我不能，就可能会因过度自负而在不擅长的领域撞得头破血流。反之，如果只强调尽我不能而忽视尽我所能。Oh, this is do all I can do, but respect what I cannot do. Something like that. 你忽视尽我所能，则会陷入消极避世的泥潭，错失许多发展的机会。Right. So this is a much better article or a much better topic for me. So you can actually learn something. One thing I've really noticed is that if you're good at something, people assume you are good at everything. And it's ridiculous because no one is actually like that. But like, so I don't know. I have a background in maths. I did a PhD quite a while back now. And people think, oh, you're good at maths, you must be good at absolutely everything. And it's like, no, not really. So yeah, so for example, you put in like multiple decades studying maths to do a PhD. So you do get good at one specific subdomain of maths. And then people are like, oh, you're good at maths. Okay, you're now teaching at university or something like this. And I'm like, I have no experience. Well, I'm just supposed to... You're inferring I am somehow qualified from this. I'm good at maths, but there's plenty of things I'm not good at as well. Things like, oh, the other one you get a lot in China. You're a native English speaker, therefore you're a good English teacher. Yeah. No, that's not how it works. That is not how it works. And it works the other way as well. Yeah, native Chinese speakers, especially those who are not like trained teachers, just average Joes or average Chens, I guess, they're not that great at teaching Chinese. And quite often they will give you misinformation and not realize it. They are quite good at speaking fluently and they are quite good at going, oh, something's wrong there, but explaining it to you in such a way that you can use it as a student, as a non-native speaker, yeah, it can be quite challenging. So I think this is the idea. We're supposed to 尽我所能, do what you can do, but respect what you can't. So things like, yeah, native speakers probably shouldn't rely on that alone to teach their language, because quite often you're so unaware of so many things as a native speaker. I am not a good English teacher, I can tell you. Yeah, so I think people too often go from Yeah, good at one thing to assuming you're good at everything. Sorry, it's still a little cold here. I feel like I'm just waffling. Almost like I should write that as an essay. But at the same time, I don't have these quotes. 尽我所能,尽我不能. Is it like a line of poetry or something? They didn't give a source for this. I don't know. I kind of like this style though. It does seem like something I could use. Oh, that's even the title. So it's something I could use on the exam. Maybe. We'll see. All right. Next is 繁简结合法. So complicated and simple. So presumably you give a simple explanation, you go into the details, and then maybe simplify it again. That's probably pretty standard. It's just normal paragraph structure, right? Normal paragraph structure is you write what you're going to prove in the paragraph, you go into all the details as how you prove it, and then you recap at the end. That's quite normal, and I think it's normal in both English and Chinese. Just normal paragraph structure. All right. 所谓反例，就是详细展开的论据，如具体事例、数据、专家观点等，能提供扎实的学证支持，通过深度分析展现逻辑严密性。所谓简历，就是简洁的排比例证。Oh, it's not what I was expecting. So the complicated one is just listing off data and like expert viewpoints, whatever. Okay, so 简历 simple example 就是简洁的排比例证。So 排比例证. 排比 is parallelism. It's a technique in writing where you use comparable writing styles, right? 排比. What's the relevance here? 修辞说法，即三个或三个以上，结构相同的相似、内容相关、语气一致的短语或句子连在一起。Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure what the relevance of parallelism is here. It's like, so that was kind of mentioning the rule of three, right? Where it's like you give 3 examples. It's always 3 examples. I remember when ChatGPT came out, it always gave me 3 examples. Never 2, never 4. It was always 3 examples. And I can understand why the AI does that, right? It's optimizing its writing, and it finds the optimum. And since it doesn't have memory, it doesn't have a very long memory. So yeah, it's like, oh, okay, 3 is the optimum. I'll do that. 3 is the optimum. I'll do that. And if you're reading a large amount of AI generated writing, you see it so much, it gets kind of it feels very artificial. Yeah, so parallelism is a bit more stricter than that, is that you use the same grammatical structure even. It makes it kind of snappy and memorable. Anyway, 能快速积极论证数据，形成规模效应，避免单例证据的正面性。All right, so they're saying, so if you give these multiple examples that sort of fit in the same category, and they'll be related in the sense that they touch on the same point of argumentation, but unrelated in the sense of they're not the same example, and they're different points, then yeah, it sort of gets rid of this concept of you've only got one point of argumentation. Sometimes it can be useful like that, but there's also this kind of deluge of examples kind of thing, and sometimes it can be better to just give one good example than 100 examples, if you know what I mean. 返点结合法，既避免了堆砌势力的例证流水账。I guess that's the deluge of examples, right? 例证流水账。Yeah, I think that's the same idea. So you don't want, like, you don't want to go, oh, it's so many examples, but also sometimes there are lots of examples and you want to mention their existence. So maybe just list them off succinctly, but also maybe hone in on one particular one. 又克服了空淡道理的苍白，使作文既有深度又有广度 （depth and breadth）。运用词法，切记繁例与简例必须同类和相关，或有内在联系。So so they're connected in some way. The same type, or they have some natural connection. It's not just throwing mud, right? All right, bathroom. All right, let's give this example a read and see how they do the complicated example and simple example. 持续探索创新的开拓者，是推动人类文明进步的先锋力量。Yuan Longping is a very famous scientist in China, known for rice hybridization. If I remember correctly, Yuan Longping, 院士毕生. Oh, okay, so this is students who graduated from the university department named after Yuan Longping. 生功刚稻田. All right, so we are talking about rice. 从发现水稻的天然雄性，哺育猪稻成功，培育超级杂交水稻. Yeah, there it is. So this is the hybrid, like genetic hybrid rice. Yeah, so basically because China very, very much depends like on rice, this kind of genetic hybrid just kind of increased crop yield and just generally helps China flourish. That's my understanding. Go ask an expert if you want a more detailed explanation. 再到公关海水，稻种 what？ 再到公关海水稻种植技术，用60余载的坚守。Oh, there it is again. 诠释了科研工作者永不绝步的探索精神，放眼全球科技领域，爱迪生hold on. Oh, okay, so this is our first example, and we're talking about the 永不绝步, this kind of spirit of perseverance. All right. Oh, no. 探索. So it's this kind of strong sense of exploration, unyielding sense of exploration, in fact. All right. So we've gone from a local example, local in the sense of in China. China's huge, but so, you know. All right. 放眼全球科技领域，爱迪生力 is that Edison? 经过千次失败，竟发明耐用的白炽 is it 炽 maybe it's 炬白炽灯泡。居里夫人 is this Madame Curie? 在极端艰苦条件下发现铷元素。Yeah, so this is going to be radium, the element on the periodic table. Kind of, it's not in my list of characters, but you know, it's not often you need the character for radium. 这些开拓者的共同特质，正是始终保持对未知领域的好奇与探索。他们共同印证了唯有持续创新才能保持竞争力的真理。So we have three examples. One was Chinese, two. So one was American, one Madame Curie. Where's Madame Curie from? Polish? I don't remember. Somewhere in Europe. Maybe I should Google that. All the maybe someone, my audience is watching and going, "How dare you insult my country? Where is Madame Curie? Where Madame Curie born? Oh no, she's Polish." Oh, okay, so Kingdom Poland at the time part of the Russian Empire. Okay. All right, I don't want to get into this. Let us continue. All right. So three examples, right? So three examples. So there's more detail in the Chinese example, so presumably because A, whoever wrote this is more familiar with the Chinese example, and B, this one, I think everyone knows the kind of background story of failing 1,000 times, learning how not to make a light bulb. Madame Curie, under discovering radium under 艰苦, I don't know, arduous conditions? She did like die from it as well, you know? I shouldn't laugh at that, it's not funny, right? all right. So this one, yeah, it's okay, we get the idea, but I don't really understand. So this is fan li, right? Or is it, no, it's jian li, is multiple. Oh, okay, so the fan comes from multiple simple examples. Ah, is that what it fan jian jie he fa? So fan is like plentiful in this case, and jian is simple examples. No, hold on, that might not be accurate. Because we got jian li, simple examples. Yeah, okay, so fan li. Okay, so fan li is the in-depth one, but here we want jian li. Oh, maybe we can do both. So there's one where we do a deep dive, and there's another one where we do breadth and get lots of examples. Like Yuan Longping and Edison, Edison, is that right? Edison. And where's Curie? Judy, Furen is madam, right? So Judy is Curie. All right. So that's interesting. I kind of understand that. Could I do it? Well, I'm not sure if I can memorize everything. My memorization skills are not fantastic, so we'll have to see about that. I don't know. At the same time, I could put this stuff in my ultra short-term memory and just memorize it for the next day for the exam. And yeah, that's what you do for exams. In the real world, you just Google this stuff. You're not hindered like you are in exams. So 反逆减逆. Oh, okay. So we took one and we did a deep dive, and we took multiple and did a shallow dive. Okay. We already said this. All right. So I don't know that much about Yuan Longping, but I know his hybrid rice is what people eat still to this day, right? It's been widespread use throughout China, and generally has been quite important, like for feeding the population. All right, I think we know we got the gist of that concept. 论证使用的常见误区. Oh, what not to do with evidence. All right. Now we're talking. I kind of like this. 不合主题牵强附会. So it's not consistent with the topic or theme, and it's kind of feels forced. But yeah, that's fair enough. But sometimes you just do it anyway because, maybe you don't have all that strong evidence. 论点数字赋能. What is 赋能? Oh, this is like a mathematical gift, being mathematically gifted or something like this. 让乡村文化基因得到激活. What? What is 赋能 then? 数字赋能? Alright, I need to know what this is before I can understand it. 数字 is digital. What is 赋能? That is not what I was expecting. Is there a meaning of this word that I don't know? Fu. So the usual one I encounter is 天赋的赋 here. 天赋. So this one. Oh, 赋予 bestow. Where is 赋能? It's not on the list. I don't know. 赋能. Neologism. It's a new word to empower, energize, enable. Maybe this is why I don't know it, because it's a new word. It could very well be like that. 赋能. Energize. So I want to go back to the character. Here, 创作, it's that one, is it? So 能 is energy, 能力, 能源, 能量. So if you 赋能, you bestow, oh, maybe it's this one. You bestow energy. Wow. 数字赋能. So this would be the digital bestowment of energy. All right. So 1 second. All right, what have we got? So we're arguing that, so it's kind of like digital revolution, you might say, in English, and it's helping out 乡村. No, it's promoting culture in towns. So there is something to say about this, because you can put your small town that nobody's ever heard of on the internet, and people all over the world can see it. So there is some argumentation for that. So 激活, it's more like springs to life though, isn't it? Let's see. Maybe people go to your town that would otherwise be ignored were it not for the digital revolution. So this is what not to do. So we want to find evidence that is unsuitable. 数字赋能让乡村文化基因得到激活。山西平遥古城借无机加 AR. Oh, augmented reality. Is that right? 技术让游客透过手机屏幕 看见古城墙的千年沧桑，感受背后的历史记忆。贵州 okay, so we're doing this multiple example thing again. 贵州村超借新媒体实现体育和文化的深度交融，让游客感受特色民族文化和乡土魅力。通过数字媒介，我们看到乡土文化突破时空界限，获得新生，走到大众面前。同时，数字技术又能发掘出乡土文化的深层价值。借助互联网加的无强年化勾勒至传统习俗。What is 勾勒？I feel like I've studied this word. 勾勒。Maybe I'll just draw it here. 勒。Oh, outline. Yeah, I have studied this. Here it's used figuratively though. Okay, 所以五强年画勾勒着传统习俗。三星堆遗三星堆并联 that's in near Chengdu, right? 三星堆遗址的虚拟乐团乐队演奏着古蜀文明。数字媒介的桥梁，让人们发现乡土文化的价值，让乡村留下记忆的同时，让人们记住乡愁。So what was the problem? I don't know. It's not obvious to me what the problem was. So we got 3 different situations. In Shanxi, they used Uji AR. So presumably this is like like some sort of artificial reality kind of thing. And you experience what life is like in this town, some remote town in Shanxi province. That made a lot of sense to me. The second one was in Guizhou. Chunchao new media. So you're just using internet or some sort of internet thing to like 交融, to experience deep immersion in Guizhou culture. Yeah, it's kind of unspecific. Third example was the Sanqingdui one, right? Yeah, I don't know. What was the problem? All right, let's see. I don't know. 存在问题？哪有问题？你告诉我。原文段试图通过山西平遥古城、贵州村超五强年画和三星堆遗址的案例来论证数字赋能让乡村文化基因得到激活。Okay, so is it like off topic 的论点？So is the issue that these data points, these points of evidence, support some sort of argumentation, support some sort of conclusion, just that the conclusion is not this? Is that the idea? So 激活 is like the invigoration of culture in these towns, whereas these points of argumentation arguing for like letting external people experience those towns. And we didn't tie it back into that. Maybe. Let's see what we got. 但在论据选择上存在明显偏差。平遥古城作为世界文化遗产，属于城市历史文化范畴。三星堆遗址是具有国际影响力的考古发现，二者均不属于典型的乡村文化代表。It's not what I thought. So the Sanxingdui is famous. So they're arguing that that's famous, and it's kind of a mismatched example with the small town in Shanxi. 这种论据与论点脱节的情况会削弱论证的说服力，因此我们需要更换论据，将论据聚焦于真正体现乡村文化特色的典型案例。All right, but maybe you don't have off the top of your head like piles of argumentation. Like, if I wrote that though, I'd still be pretty happy. 数字赋能 Okay, so this is the correction, right? 轨正升格数字赋能让乡村文化基因得到激活。北京市通州区 I used to live there 以科技赋能文化打造运河畔文旅品牌，让代运河农耕文明活在当下，走向未来。贵州All right, so we're mentioning this because it's not a very famous place. We kept the Guizhou example. 走向未来 Oh no, we have a semicolon. I forget how to say semicolon in Chinese. Anyway, 贵州村超借新媒体实现体育和文化的深度交融，让游客感受特色民族文化和乡土魅力。So the author was happy with the second example. The first example, I don't see the problem with the first example. 同时，数字技术又能发掘出乡土文化的深层价值。借助互联网加的五强年画勾勒着传统习俗。乡村书院、良户书院依托现象平台为古建筑赋予了温度和脉搏。数字媒介的桥梁，让更多的乡村留下记忆，让更多的人记住乡愁。So they're getting rid of the first example and there was Shanxi. What's the problem with that example? I don't know. And this Sanxingdui was not a great, I can understand it's not a great example of what you're trying to prove because it's already well known. At least, well, to be honest, you'd be amazed at how little people know about China outside of China. Yeah, I don't know. I had to live in China for quite a number of years before I even knew Sanxingdui existed. So, you know. All right. Okay, I think this is a little bit nitpicky, but at the same time, the idea is to make sure your points of argumentation match what you're trying to demonstrate, what you're arguing for. All right. I mean, it makes sense. I meant to take away the meant to understand the take-home lesson rather than nitpick all the details, right? Whether or not I agree with their particular example. Sometimes you focus on the lesson, not the example. All right. 语焉不详，张冠李戴. Is that like a saying of some kind? 担当是文明的薪火相传. So basically, these are just fancy words. It says 担当 is good. A lot of the time it really is like that. X is good, and you just put all these flowery words there. 担当是文明的薪水相传，青年当以精神之光照亮千年长路。北宋文豪苏no 北宋文豪苏轼 is a famous poet. 在杭州润通判时。What is 润通判时? I don't know. 面对西湖 Whoa, I don't know that character. 什么草鱼鳃 Yeah. I guess the 是 in 苏轼 is also not in my list of examples, my corpus. So 风 is it? It's just a type of grass, is it? Yeah. All right, I might note that down. 1 second. Yeah, so I wanted to add this. So I found Su Shi is actually in there. Su Shi. I mean, you really do need to know this character. It's not that hard to know because there's basically only one usage you need to know. It is in the name of Su Shi, a famous poet. This one was not in the corpus. It's some type of grass. Yu. This yu, I kind of know 一层淤泥. So it's like a layer of sludge or something like this, right? Yeah, relatively rare character. All right, but I like to keep track of these things. See how the corpus is going. These are the characters I've encountered in the corpus. I don't know. Sorry, these are the characters I've encountered not in the corpus, just in my existence. And yeah, it's been going for a while now. So October 19, we're at November 27. So over a month, these are the characters. And you can see I kind of go out of my way to find them at times. And some of them I've added, yeah. Anyway, we'll get back to the textbook. All right, where were we? I don't remember. All right, yeah, there was some interruption. All right. So, 美景将士的危局，不仅写下欲把西湖比西子的绝唱，更以 What's this? 郡西湖筑长堤的壮举。Yeah, all right. I get the feeling you need to understand Su Shi poetry to handle that. Jun, is it? Jun. Dredge. Is that in my corpus? It might not be. Jun. Like, verbs especially are important. It's not in the corpus. Oh, wow. That one I'm probably going to add because whenever I see a verb like dredge, yeah, on page 17. 西湖. So this is from some sort of poem, is it? Oops. This one. I want those 3 characters in particular. I don't know. Where does it come from then? I don't know. Could it have meant something else? Anyway, save that. We'll get back to it. Yeah, I don't often, as you can tell, I don't often encounter characters, completely unknown characters, or at least characters not in that corpus. But it came in a batch. This is probably some sort of poem, I guess, from Su Shi. Oh, what is this? Some sort of aquatic body. Rang Lian Yan Hu. It's the name of a lake, right? Wow, I guessed it. Lian Yan Hu. No, I didn't really. It's somewhat guessable from the phonetic components. Lian Yan Hu. I'm pretty sure both of those are not in the corpus. Alright, I can see where my corpus lacks now though. Oops. Lian Yan. So Lian is not in the corpus, Yan is not in the corpus, both. Alright, well, and that, and both characters go here. Alright. I feel like those are very low priority. Lian Yan. It's not even in the dictionary. Lian Yan. Alright, low priority. Rang Lian Yan Hu Guang Chong Xian人间明末清初的顾言无在。Oh, is 顾言 a name? 日之路中疾呼天下兴亡皮肤有责必生践行经世之学，以实地考察与文献研究传承文化，展现了世人的责任担当。这些先前 Is it really 先前no 先前is it 先前 is it I've forgotten it 弦 okay 先弦 second tone 先前okay 这些先贤用行动证明，担当绝非空谈阔论。作为新时代青年，我们要将家国使命扛在肩头，以功成之姿书写岁月答卷。Yeah, come meaning to carry on your shoulders, right? But so with this burden of, I don't know, contributing, etc., etc. All right. Apparently that is not a good example. 语言不详将官离代. So is this a fancy way of saying lots of fluff, no substance? Maybe this is a 成语. 语 the yen is no. Do you see it? Oh, here somewhere. This one. 语言不详 too sketchy, not speak in detail. Okay. 张冠李戴. Oh, I know this, Chengyu. 张冠李戴. So this is Zhang's crown, Li wears it. I've heard this one before. What does it mean? 张冠李戴. Mistaken identification, wrong attribution, confuse one thing with another. Oh, okay. So you're confusing this crown. This is not Li's crown. This is Zhang's crown. How dare you? So, all right. So we're meant to talk about dandong, but apparently the evidentiary support does not support dandong. It supports something else. Maybe, I have no idea. That's some sort of poetry. That's beyond my level. All right. Adjusting the camera. All right, let's see what sort of feedback it gives. 存在问题。原文段试图通过苏轼、舒俊西湖、顾谈武者著书论说的案例进行论证，但由于记忆不准remembered incorrectly 论据出现语言不详、张冠李戴的情况。苏轼曾2次在杭州做官，其治理西湖的功绩主要发现在他任杭州知州期间，而非此前任通判时期。苏轼yeah, all right, let's look it up. 会火 this one is like that copying or something, right? What's going on here? Still lots of room for improvement, apparently. 会计 What? Wait. 苏轼脍炙人口的欲把西湖比西子诗句创作于熙宁6年通判任上，与后来的治湖工程并无直接关联。此外，顾谈武在日之录中的原句实为保天下者，匹夫之妇与有责焉而异，而天下兴亡，匹夫有责的说法是由梁启超所概括。All right. So the first, we quoted Su Shi poetry, and apparently that's not relevant. And the second one was, we quoted this person, Gu Yanwu, and apparently we misquoted them. It was this person, Liang Qichao. All right. 以上这些错误会使文章的说服力大打折扣，从而无法达到论证观点的目的。因此，在运用论据时，一定要注意事件的人物、时间、背景和过程的准确性。Is that right? I wonder if it still applies in modern age. Like, if you're wrong, misquoting. In English, there's a saying. Is it like Oscar Wilde or something? Maybe I'm not quoting it right. Don't let truth stand in the way of a good story. Or something in that ballpark. It's funny, I'm quoting a famous person to discuss my argumentation. Don't let truth stand in the way of a good story. Don't let truth get in the way of a good story. Oh, Mark Twain. Is that right? Never let truth get in the way of a good story. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I do declare. I don't know. Never let truth get in the way of a good story. Yeah, so, like, there is an argument that the reader should be trying to learn as much as possible, not nitpick your argumentation, etc., right? So does it matter that there is some nitpicky details that are not accurate? Or is the learner actually trying to maximize their learning and enjoyment of what they're reading? Yeah, so I'm not sure how strong the argument is that you must accurately memorize all this stuff. Yeah. The best part is, like I said, Oscar Wilde once said, "Never let truth get in the way of a good story." And the best part is, it's a Mark Twain quote. But that's the philosophy, right? Sometimes it really doesn't matter who said it, right? There's a lesson to be said. You're meant to take home the moral of the story, not who said it. It's not proof by authority, right? Anyway, maybe this is a culture difference. Like, in the real world, outside of exams, you would just Google it and correct this sort of stuff. But for exams, you don't have that. And it really feels a little bit unfair to force people to memorize this precise level of detail. It also seems very pointless, considering if I had access to my phone, I would Google it and correct it in seconds. So it does seem a little bit pointless. But maybe there's a change of attitude and culture difference as well. 衣位堆砌，缺乏联系. Alright, so it's like, this feels like the English equivalent of throwing mud. It's not that you have particularly great evidence for something, you just keep throwing more and more evidence. Some of it's rubbish, some of it's okay. And throw enough mud and some of it will stick. 担当是一种勇气，是对国家命运的坚定抉择。What is this 决 ？So 决定的决不是那个决 ，right？ 决定 is 两点水 ，OK？ 抉择 ，Oops， 抉择。So what is this 决？ Oh, is this 判决的决？ Oh, what? Single out. What's that character? Wanchu? Oh, maybe I have that. All right, I'm going to have to look that up in the corpus. Wanchu. Gouge out. So it hasn't really been a word I need in everyday life. But here it is. This is not in the corpus, but I feel like I encountered this word not that long ago. But maybe it was another character that looks very similar. All right, well, I'm going to add it to the list. It's a verb as well. So I encountered this in Pleco while looking up 抉择. It was just 决, wasn't it? Oh, although for Pleco I paid for a dictionary, so it's not just Pleco. It's 规范词典. Oh, okay, maybe it is 规范词典. I don't know. One, gouge out. All right. I mean, verbs in particular are very important. So I'd probably add this one. Why not? So what were we doing? Oh, we're doing this. 鲁迅先生曾慨然写道：我们从古以来就有埋头苦干的人，有拼命硬干的人，有为民请命的人，有舍身求法的人。这就是中国的脊梁。脊 is spine, so 脊梁 will be your spinal bridge, or backbone, I guess. 民族英雄林则图. Oh, okay, so we're throwing evidence. So we're just going to give a deluge of evidence kind of thing. 在民族危亡之际，挺身而出，面对英国侵略者的嚣张气焰和朝廷的重重阻力，他毫不畏惧，毅然决然的在虎门销毁鸦片。So referring to this is the Opium Wars, when the British were coming along kind of forcing opium trades in China. So 英雄, so 林则图. This probably will not come up on the HSK exam. Anything remotely controversial like this will not come up. 向全世界表明中国人民反抗侵略的决心。物理学家钱学森物理学家 Oh, is this the one that the atomic bomb? I'm not sure. 钱学森冲破重重阻挠，放弃国外what's that character? 什么的条件？毅然回到祖国，为中国航天事业的发展立下不朽功勋。All right, so we're talking about, it's very unspecific and hand wavy, right? Like, so okay, first of all, who is 钱学森？钱学森 Chinese scientist. All right, that's what it said. That didn't help. All right, let's use the old Google. I'll just close all these. 钱学森. Oh, that's classical. Why do you have classical Wikipedia? 钱学森，浙江仁和 Oh, that's the name of the district. Blah 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 blah. 共产党中国空气动力学 Oh, the dictionary is annoying. So this is like 动力学, what would it be? Kinetics or something? Or maybe it's like aerospace or something. 系统科学家，工程控制论创始人之一。工程控制论 Oh, control theory, is it? 美国空军元上校，中国人民解放军 blah blah blah. What's relevant? There's so many things here. What if I read this? 钱学森1935年以美国退还了庚子赔款，公费赴美进修。So I remember, one second. Sorry, it's still a bit cold here. So yeah, he went to America to study and had favorable conditions in America, but 1945年 so this is towards the end of World War II, right? 被派赴德调查纳粹德国火箭科技 so sent to Nazi Germany for a rocket mission. Alright, 1955年在美国政府的同意下回到中华人民共和国曾任麻雀 this is MIT, right? Yeah. 及加州 what's this? 加州 UCLA, is it? Something like that. One of the UCs. Is this so it's not necessarily nuclear weapons but World War II rocketry. 曾任中国这个被誉为中国导弹之父 the father of Chinese rocketry or guided missiles 航天之父 this is space travel. Alright, so who am I thinking of? I don't remember. Too many people. Anyway, so we mentioned Lu Xun, we mentioned one other. Where were we? This one, Lin Zexu. And we're doing this deluge, right? Oh, now this one. Tian Xue Sen. Oh, we wanted to look up this one. No? Yeah. Yo Wu. So, it's just San Dian Shui and Wu. War. Your war. Alright. Handsome pay. Alright. That's a new word for me. So is it in here? Your war. No. Alright. Well, I'll make a note. Here. Page 18, is it? We're getting quite a batch at the moment. Yeah, but as I say, I really have to go out of my way. I have to study Gaokao text to actually get a lot of these characters. Yeah, they're adding up. It has to be poetry or history or something as well, not just generic writing. Alright, but this is probably fairly generic, right? 依然回到祖国为中国 Yeah, alright. So what's the problem? The problem was we were just citing these people and we're not actually using them to support our contention. Alright, now we'll move the camera. Let's see what we've got. Oh, what's going on with my phone? I have an issue. Yeah, the cable wasn't plugged in properly. Anyway. 存在问题。原文端虽然选取了鲁迅所写的文字，以及林则徐、钱学森的典型事例来论证，但当是一种勇气，但对国家命运的坚定抉择的论点，但存在明显的论证不足。文章仅仅罗列了事实，却没有深入剖析这些行为背后所体现的担当精神。这种简单的材料堆砌，使得论证流于表面，缺乏说服力。因此， 在运用论据时，一定要注重对事例的深度剖析，通过揭示人物行为背后的精神内涵和价值选择，使论据与论点形成有机统一的论证整体。All right, that makes sense, right? It's like, here's a data point, here's some evidence. It's like, what about this evidence? You didn't, where's the rest of the story, kind of thing. That makes a lot of sense to me. It did seem like they were just giving these examples, and they seem like, okay, so they're appropriate examples, but you need to kind of bring them to life. Yeah. So this is the corrected version. Okay. 担当是一种勇气，是对国家命运的坚定抉择。鲁迅先生，曾慨然写道：“我们从古以来就有埋头苦干的人，有拼命硬干的人，有为民请命的人，有涉先求法的人。这就是中国的脊梁。”民族英雄，林则徐在民族危亡之际挺身而出，以担当，彰显爱国情怀，面对英国侵略者的嚣张气焰和朝廷的重重阻力，他毫不畏惧。毅然决然的在虎门销毁鸦片。OK， 向全世界表明中国人民反抗侵略的决心。So, I remember this. I think I know this story. As like, the British were bringing in all the opium, and this guy just did a Boston Tea Party kind of thing, but with opium. And I hear there was so much opium it took like days to actually dissolve in the river or something like this. Yeah, if you want the actual story, Google it, hey? Something in that ballpark. All right. 他的担当不仅捍卫了民族气节，更如惊雷唤醒沉睡的国人，点燃了一个时代的思想火种。Yeah, that does sort of add it up. So it's like the first version had he did this. This version has he did this. It had this consequence, and it really kind of, I don't know, it brings to life the article. I think I agree with the author on this one. It really changes the, oh yeah, that really makes it sound good. More convincing. It's like, that's the value of it. It's not just this single act. It carried on a spirit of, I don't know, 担当营。物理学家钱学森冲破重重阻挠，放弃国外优渥的条件，依然回到祖国，为中国航天事业的发展立下不朽功勋。他们以无畏的勇气，担起国家和民族的重任，在历史的长河中留下浓墨重彩的一笔。I don't know. I'm not convinced that that's an improvement. This feels very generic. You could say that about anyone, right? So, anyway, what I'm supposed to take home as the lesson is that you don't just state what this person did, but you state its background relevance and so on. Yeah, I don't know. 浓. It sounds like flowery words and so on. It didn't really emphasize how things changed as a result of that. All right, so anyway, we get the idea. That is part 3. Part 4. Part 4 does seem very long, and then we get into this. So, how are we going for time? I'm a little hungry. It's lunchtime. Maybe I will read a little bit, and then we'll call it a video, okay? I need to adjust my camera. All right, so we're now up to part 4. We're talking about 论证. So we've done 论题, like identifying a title or the general thing we want to prove. We've done 论点, the points of argumentation, and we've done 论据, which has been the evidence we choose to support our the points we want to get across or demonstrate. And now we have 论证. So we go from the evidence we've chosen to the conclusion, thereby demonstrating our point of view. All right. So let's see what we got here. 论证就是运用论据来严密的证明论点的方法和过程。论证的目的在于揭示出论点和论据之间的内在逻辑关系，进而达到议论文说理的核心意图。Basically what I said. 如果只有论点和论据，却没有论证分析，这样的议论文就犹如只有门槛也与门，却没有将之连接在一起的荷叶。门槛 threshold and door, but no 荷叶。no hinge. Is that what it is? 门应该绕着门槛旋转，没有荷叶的门，就无法正常打开的，自然就起不到门的作用。All right， 写议论文时，最严重、最普遍的问题便是缺乏论证意识。不少学生认为，观点、例子等于议论文。写作中，只是罗列事例。No， 罗列事例。What is 罗列事例？罗列事例。Is this just like example after example? It reads like a list of examples or something. 罗列事例。All right. 罗列事例。This one. Enumerate. Oh, yeah. So it's just a list of examples and no real cohesion or argumentation is what they're saying you should not do. 其实这样的议论文既无法论证自己的观点，也无法使人信服。So this persuasive writing, etc., etc. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm trying to convince other people to adopt my point of view. I'm more trying to get people to understand my point of view. Yeah, they can have their own point of view, and even if it contradicts my point of view, all right, that's fine. I don't care. I just want you to understand my point of view. Maybe it's a difference. Do you reckon that's a culture difference? Like, I'm not trying to convince anyone. I'm trying to convey my meaning. 下面我们将从常见的论证方法和论证分析的常见误区入手，对分析论证时常用的一些技巧方法进行讲解。All right, how are we going? 常见的论证方法。So there's quite a lot ahead. So maybe I'll read a little bit more. Maybe we'll read this page and call it a video. All right. So the first method, 引用论证. 引用 is quoting. So quoting poetry or giving citations. Okay, 引用论证即通过引用名人名言、格言警句、科学上的公理或原理等，具有广泛知名度的和普及认可度的句子来证明自己的论点正确可信。All right, nothing more than really what I said, just a lot of fancy words for that. All right, so can we zoom in a bit? All right. 担当是一种勇气，是对国家命运的坚定抉择。鲁迅先生曾慨然写道：“我们从古以来就有埋头苦干的人，有拼命硬干的人，有为民请命的人，有涉险求法的人，这就是中国的脊梁。他们以无畏的勇气担起国家和民族的重任，在历史的长河中留下浓墨。浓墨重彩的一笔。So Yeah, so do you remember the example we read just before? This sentence did not apply to Lu Xun, it applied it to, what was his name? Qian Xuesen. So, all right. So this is a good example, right? All right, let's see what they're arguing or what their point of view is. I guess they are arguing. Am I persuaded? So I should be persuaded, right? Let's see how convincing their writing is. 稳断的论点为，担当是一种勇气，是对国家命运的坚定抉择。All right, I mean, we got to this like 3 chapters ago. 论证这一论点是引用了鲁迅的名言，我们 blah blah blah. Why is there 是 there? 这一论点是I don't know why there is a 是 there. 证明了中国历史上存在着许多具有担当精神，以无畏勇气为国家命运做出坚定抉择的人。这正是引用论证。All right, so the third sentence is the relevant one. So if we go back here, we want to demonstrate that 担当like is this 坚定抉择 is the kind of way to decide. No, 担当 is what decides the country's fate. Okay, we give this example, and because we're Chinese, we put all these positive examples. 在历史的长河中留下这个。So we're saying 他们 Oh, okay, so this 他们 implies to all of the examples, not just this one particular. 他们以无畏的这个勇气。So they do 担重任。 and we're saying that this, it really, I don't know, I feel like going from here to the actual what we want to prove isn't that strong, but all right. 在历史的长河中留下浓墨重彩的一笔。So leaves a mark on history. But then again, we do emphasize country here. Let's read it again. 他们以无畏的勇气担起国家和民族的重任。So we got the 国家 here. 在历史的长河中留下浓墨重彩的一笔。Yeah. Anyway, this basically ties it back into where you wanted to go. It's like from the start, you're saying, I want to prove this. And then at the end, you go, I prove this. I guess that's all it is, really. All right. What's next? Need to adjust the camera. 引用论证在议论文中的使用主要有两种形式：直接引用和间接引用。直接引用是将引用的原文直接抄录在文档中。正如上文列卷，可以注明出处，也可以不注明出处。Alright, so I don't know if we care about this. Two types of quoting, you say word for word what they say, or the other one would just be paraphrasing. 间接引用是用自己的话语来表述他人的理论或者观点，比如现代科技的数字化源头活水正悄然浸润着乡村的沃土，为这片古老的土地注入新生力量。间接引用了为有源头活水来。Alright, so paraphrasing basically. That's not a big deal. 方法指导 Okay, 明确论点 So we want to go here. Alright. So 确定索引论据 So we identify what we want to use for evidence. 具有权威性 So authoritativeness. 与论点联系紧密 and relevance to what you want to prove. So this is what you need. 选择引用类型，直接引用、间接引用。So quote word for word versus paraphrase. 进行分析证明，在引用的基础上联系论点，对句意进行分析。Basically go from the evidence to the conclusion you're originally wanting to make. 撰写议论文段 Alright, and write your article. Alright, your argumentative piece. Shall we call it a video? Maybe, I feel like I should at least get through towards the end of this. So maybe there's one more video. We'll see how it goes, because this is too general and non-specific. So I would like to go through some more concrete examples. But at the same time, we can do other things as well. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the future. Hopefully this is a useful exercise. TTFN!